Last time on Dragon Ball Z, after realizing there wasn't enough milk in the world to help him get through what he was going through right now, Gohan continued to fight valiantly against Majin Buu's onslaught. But the added power boost from Gotenks and his mentor Piccolo on top of his already outlandish power level proved to be too much for the Earth's would-be savior, who found himself little more than a chew toy for Majin Buu to test his newly broken limits. Understanding the catastrophic consequences of allowing such a force as Majin Buu to potentially leave his containment side of planet Earth, the extraterrestrial leaders who had been keeping up with the stream decided that drastic measures had to be taken if the universe as they knew it was going to stick around any longer than a fortnight. Casting his pride to the side, Yima summoned the spirit and body of the most prideful one himself, resurrecting Vegeta from eternal hellfire to scope out the situation on Earth for a rematch with Majin Buu he couldn't refuse. And on Planet Fitness, after giving his remaining life energy to Goku, he outfitted the newly mortal warrior with a set of Potara earrings, an ancient artifact of great power that would allow him to fuse with his son, and with any luck, their combined power would be enough to end the Buu rampage and release the Earth from its present nightmare. Back on Earth, it appeared that the plan might reach a premature end after Buu shot a blast at Dende and subsequently any chance the Earth might have to right the wrongs of Majin Buu. But in the final hour, YOSHA emerged by Hercule's Desert Eagle and perhaps more importantly, Ten Shinhan, sending a Kikoho across the battlefield and proving the persistence of Earthlings. Now beginning to get more annoyed than amused, how would the Z-Fighters fare against the waning patience of fused Buu? You know what? I think I'm done here. You losers can blow up right along with your miserable planet. Gohan, your brother wants you to know that he always thought the do-rag was really stupid, by the way. And with perhaps the most hurtful proclamation he had made yet, Buu raised his arms and crafted a ball of energy so destructive, all it took was one glance for Gohan and the others to know that if that thing touched down, the planet really was cooked this time. Out of all the reactions to Buu's nonsense, the winner of the reaction gallery 100% has to go to a two-way tie between Satan and Tien. Hercule, after seeing Buu summon the equivalent of a nuke from thin air, raises his Glock with a heavy heart and yells out, "I'm sorry, buddy," and starts blamming off in Buu's general direction, convinced that he's the main character being forced into a checkmate situation where he has to put his old partner down for the greater good.
Be the alfalfa for the rabbits.
The rabbits.
And I get the tender rabbits.
Hercule's delusion at some point turns the corner of being hugely detrimental into an actual superpower, and it's funny to see. Tien just cracks me up, because he got even more of a raw deal when it came to the length of his hero moment than Gohan got. But he finally popped out and showed Ningens after being off the radar for years, dripped out in an immaculate fit, only for the next scene with him in it to have him sweating bullets and remind him how and why he got benched for as long as he did. Buddy actually hit him with the "Ha Davis,
This is beyond me.
I'm useless," and never has a human being been more correct or unintentionally hilarious. As the Earth was moments away from being declared Namek 2, we return to the planet of the Kais, where Shin and Kibito's fusion has taken place and has Shin smelling himself harder than he ever has before. This pathetic excuse for a Kai starts flexing for the gram and shoots a comment over to Goku talking about some, "Alright Goku, now I can fight with you. Let's go to the Earth and handle this Majin Buu situation like I was planning to do from the start." A whole ass clown, y'all. This man Goku just kinda stares at him, but Kakarot didn't even have to open his mouth because Elder Kai beat him to it. Hold your horses, bucko, before you somehow manage to besmirch the Kai name even further. 0 times 0 is still 0. I hope you haven't forgotten that basic math. If you go down to the planet right now, you will be nothing more than a meat shield taking up oxygen. So just sit your ass down like you've been doing for majority of the past millennia and let the Ningen Coalition handle their business. Bruh, I have never seen another creature's ego deflate so drastically in such a short period of time. But before Goku departed on his way, Kai shared one last piece of info that the Saiyans should probably be aware of. Listen well, Goku. The Potara transformation is potent. Very potent. There's no time on it like the traditional fusion ritual. Once you come together as one, the result is permanent. Bruh, the newly fused Supreme Kai's reaction should have been minted in a museum, and the fact that Elder Kai waited till now to drop that bomb was nauseating work. Seeing Goku's reaction to this was even better, cause I don't know if I've ever seen this fellow think so hard at any other point in his life. He blew himself up with fewer questions than he had about potentially fusing with Gohan permanently. Wait, so if me and Gohan fused, then how are me and Chi-Chi... Wait, and if we're fused, what about Gohan and Videl, and does that mean I gotta go to school? Hold on, does that make me a predator then? Cause I'm not on that cupcake. Damn it, Goku, there won't be on Earth to be a predator in if you don't get back this instant. They're out of time. Even a broken clock is right twice a day, and it appeared that right now was Shin's time. Seeing that the Earth was seconds away from disaster, Goku thanked the Kais for all they had done and sent his data to Earthrealm. With a smile, Buu launched the attack towards the surface, but all of a sudden found himself coming to pieces about the whole affair. And it was all thanks to Hercule Satan's patented desert. Let me stop. In truth, the second orange man of the hour made it to Earth just in time, splitting Buu in half with a well-timed Kienzan of all things, causing the massive ball of energy to trail off into the stratosphere and become another poor civilization's problem rather than Earth's. Buu looked behind him like, yo, who bitch this is? Who bitch this is? Was none other than Chi-Chi's, in fact, the one and only son Goku. As Satan looked up towards the sky and lamented the damage his trusty Deagle had to inflict on an individual he once called friend, Buu was as nonchalant as a man who just got split in half ever was, fogging up his bifocals, and he realized he recognized a nappy-headed traffic cone standing in front of him. Oh yes, I remember you. Nice of you to return, but as you can see, you're a bit late to the party. This black man was unfazed because he knew something that Buu didn't. With a hearty smile that could have made the likes of the D-Clan proud, Goku pointed directly at Buu, gleefully informing him that he was in the possession of the plot devices to end all plot devices, and Buu might do well to wipe that sarcastic smile off his face. This could be the go takes in me, but I believe that this is what the boy would refer to as Cap. Then, in one of the most disrespectful and unnecessary displays of violence we've seen since the Boer was out here hawk 2-ing on folks, this jerk Buu gets on his Adam family timing, takes his bottom half and just roundhouses the taste out of Tien's mouth while the man wasn't looking, and puts Buddy to sleep for the remainder of the arc before bringing himself back together. Goku was on the same page I was too, because he was like, really bro? Tien didn't even say anything that time. That was for clout chasing. Don't be too upset, Goku. I did him a favor. Let him dream about tongue kissing that mime in the Himalayas. That'll be far more pleasant for him than what he'll see when he wakes up. Goku wasn't convinced though. For all his bravado, he could sense some desperation in Buu's action and words. Now is the time to strike. So you still think this is all a bluff, Buu? Don't worry, we can test that theory right now. Gohan, think fast! Bro, this part almost did me in. All those years of Goku being an absentee father finally caught up with him, because Buddy must have forgotten that while he did teach the kid to throw hands, he never taught the boy how to play catch. Goku chucked that Potara at his son without a second thought, thinking it was a guarantee that his son was going to one-handed palm that thing like a cool guy. Then the next thing you know, they would be conjoined twins and off to the races. What actually happened was all Gohan heard was like, "Loser says what?" and caught the briefest glimpse of a small orb bouncing into a nearby crevice of rocks, wondering why now of all times his father would choose to remind him of his high school trauma. I know I'm harping on this, homies, but the implications of this are just too funny to me, and I've seen discussions online that make me realize I'm not the only one. I've seen a few people talking about this is what Chi-Chi gets for not letting the homie play sports. Gohan was out here thinking about Vidal's bike shorts in a concussed daze, and a personal favorite of mine is the theory that Gohan's arm was still injured from that battle with Cell and he's never been the same. Too much. A strong runner-up was Toriyama foreshadowing this by Gohan needing to wear glasses at some point, and my sides went into orbit after reading that one. Real talk though, is it even fair to blame Gohan? Man was just recovering from getting the life beat out of him. The Earth was 2 milliseconds from getting nuked when all of a sudden his permadead dad just appears back on Earth and is like, think fast, throws a tiny god knows what at him at like 110 mph, because we all know Goku be forgetting his own strength sometimes. Then we're supposed to look at Gohan crazy for dropping it? Yeah, whatever, man. Call me crazy, but this is a Goku L 100%. While Gohan gets on his hands and knees excavating rocks like he's Velma looking for her glasses, Buu listens in on Goku's less than subtle comments about how that little doohickey was supposed to help them fuse, and decides that he in fact would be just fine not learning more, and once again takes a piss on the shonen sacred scriptures, attacking Goku before the plan can be put into place. Goku gears up to Super Saiyan 3 because he knows that's the only way he doesn't get turned into roadkill in 5 seconds flat. And right as the party is about to get underway, Gohan engaged his clutch factor and found the earring. But it looks like Lord Zeno was smiling on them extra hard that day, because not only did Gohan find the earring, but at the same time, the Super Saiyan 3 pack just wore off for Buu, and the Piccolo genetics became the dominant factor, meaning that Goku's presence on Earth wasn't even necessary anymore because Gohan could run his pockets 100 times over with his power level looking like this. Alas, Majin Buu had one last insurance policy to cash out on. Knowing that the transformation was coming to an end, Buu took a quick minute to roast present company for not paying attention to the fact that he never properly healed his third leg before enveloping Gohan in an all too familiar ooze and making him a part of an ever-growing lineup of perfection before Goku could react. To everyone's dismay, Buu was able to fuse with Gohan before Goku was. Now let's take a minute to glaze up Super Buu's intelligence for the last few parts, because I don't think it gets enough flowers. Because at first glance, Buu's actions look very familiar from the lens that there are things we've seen desperate villains do time and time again when they know they're about to take an L. Like how many times we've seen a villain in DBZ take the table flip method when they get bopped rather than take accountability for what's coming. But what's cool about Buu is his actions on the surface rarely capture the full picture of his intentions. His blowing up the Earth gambit wasn't just about losing patience with the pathetic Earthlings who seem to not die when they're supposed to. Homie knew full well his Gotenks transformation was about to pop, and if he didn't put his foot to the gas with the quickness, Gohan would be dropping way more than a hard R in his dome piece in the coming minutes. And also, how can you not dap Buddy up just a little bit for how quickly he was able to piece together a new plan with the arrival of Goku? He managed to stall reinforcements long enough not only to cook up a perfect counterplay, but I even think KO and Tien was calculated as a way to ensure that Operation Absorb Top G didn't go belly up through the interference of a random jobber playing hero. We appreciate a smart king in these streets, Buddy's over here playing Death Note while everyone else is still in Dragon Ball mode, and you gotta respect it. One person that certainly wasn't on Team Buu Han though was Goku. Buddy was pressed beyond belief with that villain managed to perfectly hit an Uno reverse on him, and now he was about to get the steamrolling of a lifetime after all those promises he made on Planet Fitness. Goku surveyed his options. At the very least, he still had the Potara, so out of those remaining on Earth, there had to be someone that he could fuse with to make a difference, right? So he looked down the peanut gallery, and no sooner than he glanced over did he find himself overcome by the black pill. Tien was bald. Not only that, boy was slumped with no signs of returning to Earth anytime soon. Dende was bald too. Not only that, he was a Piccolo with no hands. That combination was a walking L. That left only one remaining option, but Goku barely wanted to think about it. Worst came to worst, he could fuse with Satan. At the very least, dude had a hairline, but this was about the only prerequisite he met. There was a very real chance that if Goku threw this man that earring, he could get weaker rather than stronger. Not to mention how weird his wife was about body hair. But beggars couldn't be choosers and they were out of time. Satan, think fast! Apparently, learning nothing from that mess with Gohan, with little warning, Goku prepared to chuck that Potara at Hercule. But right before it could leave his quivering hands, a familiar presence stopped him in his tracks. No way, it couldn't be, right? But it was. The Prince of all plot armor was back on Earth, hairline sharper than ever, ready to take a fat L for the team. Before Baba could even leave the danger zone, Goku had already transmissioned himself to Vegeta's location, never happier to see his rival's 5-head glistening in Earth's rays than he was at that moment. Goku, you're alive? The time was up! Sorry, Baba can't talk. Buu's on his way as we speak. If Say Less was a person, in that moment its name would have been Baba, because she skedaddled out of there faster than when Roshi gets drunk and starts pushing up on her at poker night. Vegeta, look, put on this earring fast before Buu gets here. Kakarot, why in Yimma's blue hell would 1, I ever put on this gaudy piece of effeminate jewelry, and 2, take a gift from the biggest pain in my ass that the gods deem fit to shove in my prostate at every turn? Look, Vegeta, I know we like to do this cute back and forth thing every time we meet, but we don't got time for the banter. Buu is on his way, and I know you sense it. We need to fuse together and combine our powers. He's gonna destroy absolutely everything. Let him. On my pride as a Saiyan, I swear I would rather die than gain any power that has to do with joining forces with you. Vegeta, come on. Throw that idiotic pride away and help me if we do. God, I hate you, Kakarot. What? I said I hate you. Do you think I didn't see it? You held back against me in the most important match of my life. Super Saiyan 3, you actually had a whole ass form in your pocket and you didn't even think to give me a glimpse. Do you know how humiliating that is? Do you know what I went through in hell? I had jobbers I killed decades ago busting my balls, talking about Kakarot gave you the kid's gloves. He at least had to go full power on me. I can't even bear to look at you, let alone share bodies. Ha, that'll be the day. With all the disappointments of Charlie Brown at Christmas, Goku slacked his shoulders and apologized to the prince. He knew he had wronged him, but he needed to keep that ace in the hole in case things with Buu went sideways, because once he did it, he knew he'd be out of time. But he couldn't live an apology. He had to get through to Vegeta, and the only way he knew to do that was with the truth. Look, Vegeta, I apologize for making the Uno games a hell of a waking nightmare, but this is reality. Everyone was eaten by Majin Buu. That means Gohan, Goten, as well as Piccolo, Trunks, and even Bulma were absorbed while we were catching R&R in the afterlife. If you can't do it for me, do it for them, because it's our only shot. We can figure out the details on what sleepovers with our wives look like afterwards. A deafening silence filled the air as the prince put every ounce of his cognitive to work on processing Kakarot's ultimatum. Damn it, hand it over, quickly now! It appeared that Vegeta's more rational side had won. The prince had truly come a long way, but there was no time to celebrate the character development though. Buu was now directly in front of them, ball of energy in hand, ready to nuke any possibility of a comeback. As Vegeta struggled with the placement of the Potara, Goku had one last proclamation. Thanks, buddy. Oh, one last thing. Once we do this, we can't split apart. So hope my hairline genetics are the dominant one, huh? Eat shit, Before he could completely express his disdain, the merger had begun. After being blinded by an intense flash they had now become intimately familiar with, emerged a fighter the likes of which he had never seen. Donning a flamboyant royal blue battle gi with a grin to match, Buu froze for the briefest of moments to analyze the fighter in front of him. For the first time since he fused, his immaculate planning encountered an anomaly it was too late to overcome. The fusion of the Saiyan fighters Vegeta and Goku had now taken place. Vegito had now arrived. And right here, with the birth of a new hero, is where we'll call it. Tune in next time as Buu and Vegito size each other up. The freshly formed Buu Han assured that he is still the galaxy's strongest warrior, but it appears Vegito may have a few opinions about that. Will the Potara-powered pugilist be able to take champion's crown from Majin Buu, or is the galaxy's biggest threat still too much for the conjoined Saiyan forces to take on? Only one way to find out. Be easy, y'all. Catch you again in the next video.